Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Old Man Rambles. The other day, I was watching a podcast, YouTube video with Brent Spiner and Jonathan Frakes. Brent Spiner played Commander Data, and Frakes played Commander William Riker on Star Trek The Next Generation, way back in the mid 80s to early 90s. And they started a podcast called Brent and Johnny Dropping Names. And I kind of started watching them out of order. Didn't watch them in sequence. But I went back to watch the first one, which was with LeVar Burton. And these people were obviously friends. Just the casual way in which they could talk about amongst themselves about what they've been up to lately, about their history before they met, about working together. And it's obvious they're still friends because, like, Brent Spiner was talking about having Thanksgiving dinner with LeVar Burton's family. These people really are friends still to this day. 40 some odd years later, after filming the show, these guys still talk to each other. They're still friends, and it was just such a fun conversation to watch and listen to. Just three guys who were friends in a room. LeVar Burton's had an amazing history in film and theater. He's worked with some amazing people. He talked about working with Sidney Poitier and John Wayne, and I think it was John Wayne, and just all these other people that he's worked with. But back to the people themselves, the individuals themselves. It watching stuff like this makes me wanted to be in that room. I was thinking about, like, the questions I would ask, or how I would answer questions they posed to each other. I would have loved to have been in that room talking to these guys, and it would be amazing to be friends with them. But it also has got me thinking about, like, similar situations with other celebrities, or now that there's YouTube personalities. They call those parasocial relationships, where the relationship is entirely one-sided based on just the observations that we have through the medium, whether talk show interviews, podcasts, YouTube videos, what have you, or movies, television, film. And I think about the people that I liked and admired all my life. I wasn't one of those people who sat around fantasizing about meeting celebrities. It was more when I would be in situations like this, where I would be watching an interview, listening to something they were saying, and putting myself in that room mentally, and imagining how it would be to be in that room, and what it would be like to be friends with these people. But a long time ago, I figured out these people would probably not be friends with me. That's not like a knock on myself. This isn't me saying, oh no, no one will like me. But I know myself. I know what kind of person I am and what kind of people I tend to be friends with. They're an eclectic bunch, but I'm never going to be friends with. If I had a chance to work with and meet Brent Spiner, I would probably get along with them. I'm a very likable guy, and I get along with people very well. But I doubt we would be buddies. I don't know enough about him to know if we'd be friends. I came to realize that the list of people I would actually get along with is probably very small. I can only think of a few celebrities that I think I would actually enjoy hanging out with, and an even smaller group of ones that would actually like hanging out with me enough to be friends with me. I could name a bunch of celebrities who seem like they're fun people. They would be fun people to hang out with. Going to some gala event and meeting them and being able to hang out with them and chat with them. I could be entertaining for a little while. I know I've admitted I'm a massive introvert. But give me a topic I'm interested in, and I can talk for a little while, at least, and be mildly entertaining for a short period of time. I could be cool and engaging for an evening with someone like Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill or um, more recently, crap, I'm dropping the name of my name's falling out of my head. I can picture her face in my brain, but some more modern actors. Think of someone more modern. Elijah Wood, Daniel Radcliffe. Actually, I think I would get along pretty well with Daniel Radcliffe, based on what he knows Tom Lehrer's The Element song. He has it memorized. That I could get behind. I think there's a possibility. But yeah, I realize that the number of people who are out there who are celebrities who I could actually really honestly, if we met and were thrown together, we would actually become friends. Because I don't know these people, not really. Nobody really does. When we're watching, I was watching interviews with Sally Fields recently because she has a movie that just came out. She was doing doing the circuit, doing the junket, the press junket, going to all the talk shows, all the podcasts, talking about the movie, talking about her history, talking about working with Robin Williams, other people she's worked with. She's doing the press junket. She's there on screen selling herself. She's trying to sell the movie. She's not being nice and friendly beyond what it's taking. She has to be there. She has to be pleasant. She has to be chatty. We're seeing them through a lens of them on their best behavior for the most part. This is them on a good day. We're not seeing all the little foibles that they have. We're not seeing them slumped on the couch, with a bag of Cheetos on their chest, it's covered in Cheeto dust, watching crappy reality TV shows or what have you. We don't see these people at their worst. We see them nicely dressed, all pressed and clean, and on their best behavior. And some of them, like Sally Fields, admitted that she's actually a very angry person. She got into acting because she was angry, and acting let her be angry, without getting punished for it, without getting in trouble for it. But and the same holds true for for YouTubers and podcasters. There are a bunch of YouTubers that I watch on a regular basis, and I have to be honest. As much as I like them and would like to engage with them, I don't know if I would really be friends with them. There's maybe one or two. Like I said, there's a couple that I've seen that are that share my sense of humor so well. Their love of old cartoons and things like that. But the same holds true for anyone who watches my videos. You don't know me. You engage with me for 15 minutes a week for one of these rambling videos. And you have no idea what I'm like when the camera goes off. I've admitted I'm a quiet introvert. But beyond that, I have some nerdy stuff. And I have had people say they know who I am after listening to 30 minutes of me talk. That kills me. But no, none of us really knows the person on the other side of the screen until you sit in the same room with them. Good hunting.